All right, Shalom, Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites. Another day in and day out. Prophesy the downfall of America, which is modern day Egypt, Babylon, Sodom, all those kingdoms. And the uprising of Israel consists of so-called Negro Latino Native Americans of the elect. We're here to do the mission of our Father in heaven through Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we're going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone, most high takes to the blessed teaching word for the hopeful elect. Seem to be the elect, most high will. Said he's short in the time for the elect's sake. The elect work is being done. To the contrite spirits, the hopeful extended elect, the multitude, the Israelite foreigners out there that's returning back to the Most High. Shalom, blessings. You know, and we're gonna call this, you know, angels are at the movies, and the Most High. We're gonna have you understand that this is the movie. It's the real movie of the Most High. We'll start with that scripture. He's not the author of confusion. All right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. And it reads, for the Most High is not the author of confusion. Look up the word author right there. It comes from, you know, authorization. That's the same thing. You authorize something.
Author and a writer of a book.
Yeah, a writer of the book. That's why I said it is written. I was shy even said his book is written of him, becoming the value of the book is written of me. So that's what the author does. He's write things that have to play out, and that's why you have producers and all that. Where every movie, there's usually a book that goes along with the movie. If somebody say, yeah, I saw that movie and I actually read the book. So that a lot of, you know, go hand in hand. Same thing with the Most High. Go ahead.
Says a writer of a book, article, or report.
Yep. Now, what did he have angels report to him? You know, things like that. And it says he's not the author of confusion. So he wrote things that they should come into play and that they should be rehearsed on earth in his movie, like the Ten Commandments. You know, it says so he's not the author of confusion. It tells you in the commandments that if a man lie down with a beast and a woman the same as lie down with a beast, they shall be put to death. So you can remove confusion from Israel. So for us to not be confused, Most High gave us this book. Law, statute, commandments, prophets set up, holy men set up to direct you in your path as the Holy Spirit deals with. So, you know, Esau is a part of that movie. Elon Musk, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Edom is doing what he's supposed to do. Donald Trump was picked in the office because Most High wanted him in the office. He's a part of this, you know, the movie. Then you got the main actors, like the apostle always say, Esau. You got Jacob, and nations are that extra. They just in the background walking around. Sometimes they might say hello, a little scene at the, you know, to take your order or something. But you never see those people again. They don't interview those people. They're not stars. You know, you don't ever see no extras. You know, hey, you play the extra in the movie and they want to interview. No, they want to interview stars. The main people.
Not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints.
Yeah, but in peace, because confusion will give you, it can give you harm. It can give you torment. You know, plague of the mind. If you're not thinking right, and in your right state, you're not living right. It's harm to you. So the piece is to do as he say do. Scriptural, lawfully. Going back to the keeping the laws. Go ahead, what you got? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're just gonna go to the author of finish our faith.
Yeah, just go to that point.
Just start at 2. Okay. You know, usually you like start at the beginning.
Yeah,
so
but we want to. Yeah, we don't want to lose that because you know Jake like entertainment.
Yeah.
So we gonna most high will that'll find that we're gonna break down how this is actually the real raw movie that Esau imitates. That's why he learned to do movies because the Most High put in his mind to do movies. That's why we watch movies. GMS a movie buff because you can learn something out of it because it's based on real life experiences. Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Looking unto Yahushua,
The Son of God, who they can call Christ, Jesus, Yeshua, I mean, anything else. That's defiled things coming out of your mouth. Go ahead.
the author and finisher of our faith.
He's the author and the finisher of our faith. That's why, like I said, he said, the book, come in the value of the book, I come in the value of the book that is written of me. So just like his father's an author, he's an author also. We're authors. We write a book with our experiences. That's why when you hear a brother's testimony, it's like a movie. Like, yeah, bro, back then I used to do this. And I met this and parents. I came from this background. It's a story, So it's not. Our people like, well, it sounds like a fantasy because, like this one bitch, she said, well, it has a beginning and an end. It sounds like a story. It is a story, man. We're storytelling right now, telling the stories of these biblical historical points. And the same thing is happening now. When you grow up and you get older and you tell your kid, they be like, well, how was it in your day, Daddy? And you tell them. Because even in the scripture it says, ask of the fathers, and they shall tell me. What do you think they're going to be talking about? Things that they experience and that they can, that the children can learn from their experience and what the stories they tell. Go ahead.
Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross,
Go ahead.
despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh.
Yeah. So everything's orchestrated by the Most High, through Yahweh and the angels. So when you see these powers set up, and they claim that they, like, oh, well, there's no power, there's no God that we talk about. Most High said they would say that in the scriptures. They would say, "There's my enemies say there is no God." So they're going according to the script. Why is Jake trying to fix Esau and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing? There's a scripture too that says, like the Most High sent his angels out there to do his work in the beginning. And remember, it was a situation where with Job when it says Satan is going to and fro on the earth, and then Most High said, "Have you considered my servant Job? He's an upright man and true people." So he does that to us too. And the angels be like, "Man, Lord, how did he get out of that?" You know what I'm saying? Evil angels are in awe too. Like, man, he went through it and he kept his integrity, and I don't know how he did it, because in the flesh, you supposed to be taken by the flesh. That it says a man sow into his flesh, so the flesh shall he reap. But they are odd by us overcoming the flesh, doing the opposite of what the flesh would usually do. So what did it say about those angels that desire to look into things?
First Peter.
Yeah, but I'm you want me to just go straight to the point?
No, you can go.
Okay, because that's 11. That's 11. We're searching for it. Yeah, right there. All right, so this is the next precept. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 11. Searching what manner of time the Spirit. Okay, that's all I was thinking. It's not. It's got to be like a full. Start at 1. Let me go there.
Yeah, go to that.
That's where it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go to it. Yeah, and we'll get back to that and we'll fit it in somewhere.
Okay, so back to the point. 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 12, and it reads, unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves.
Wait, hold on. When you watch a movie, you got to stay up to the movies for things to be revealed. You can't like 10 minutes walk out. Hey, I didn't understand that. You got to stay long enough. So that's a part of our patience. Sit long enough to understand what's really going on in the movie. How things Most High is moving around. And you be like, well, why did they do that? Because the movie makes perfect sense to us, but not the world. They be like, I didn't even understand that movie. You got some great movies that go over Jake's head, but we understand it because we saw it through spiritual eyes. You're like, yeah, that makes, I know why they did that. There's deeper understanding levels of things to where Most High set up on the earth for you to understand.
Yeah, they ain't spending $1.2 million to make a movie that's not gonna mean something.
Exactly.
They do that stuff because they trying to give you paint a picture of the future.
Exactly. Man. And some movies don't come out. They'll write a movie and they'll still continue to work on it. They don't come out to 10 years later because they want to perfect the movie as much as they can for it to be a real good movie to make sense. You got to make sense. You ain't supposed to be stupid and dumb. Things got to make sense. They got to add up. So when you watch a movie, if you walk out the movie and say, man, that was the wackest movie in the world, but another Jake, man, like, man, that's the dopest movie. You like, show me how then that was the dopest movie. You don't just be like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, I must have missed something. And then he pointed out all the things like, oh shit, I didn't even see that. Subliminal stuff in the background, the elites that they don't call themselves elites in the movie, but you know those are the elites, like Squid Game. You know those are the elites. The Rockefellers, the Rothschild, you know? Those are those people. They exercise power. They sit in their summits, they drink wine, and they bet on Jake's lives and shit, as well as destroy them. So that's what's going on in the real movie of why y'all was shot. Why Hashem y'all was shot. Why Hashem Kadashi. And go ahead.
That not unto themselves, but unto us, they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them.
How things reported. The angels report to the Most High. A lot of these angels be like, man, let me kill one of these celebrities. Like, let me, you know what I'm saying? And the Most High said, nah, let them, because they're gonna be an example. A lot of these top celebrities, they starting to fall, of course, but they had lived this long to be an example. Because you had Jake Gang go into the industry, and then they look. Most High open their eyes and say, I'm glad I didn't join that shit. I saw what's the name do this. He sold his soul. He wore a dress. Because it was used to be like a couple of black men, whatever. They had the Larry Johnson commercial with his dress on there. And he was like, all right, he just doing it. And then when you see all the Jakes doing it, most of the Jakes, you like, damn, something's going on, man. Because you got to have enough patience to let the movie unfold to see what's going on. Well, go ahead.
So, but unto us they did minister the things.
But that's why we're still here, too. That's why the Most High is still, it's going to get crazier than this. Most High is going to be like, watch this. You thought that was something. Just like them celebrities with Lil Kim. You thought Lil Kim was something. Look at Cardi B. You thought Cardi B was something. Look at the City Girls. You thought they was something. Look at Sukihana and Sex. It's going to get, the rabbit hole is going to get deeper. Then you're going to be like, oh, it's time. We already saying it's time to get out of here. Brother was saying it's time to get out of here 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Way before, and they, in the youth of their time, they was like, they was ready. Like, come on.
Yep.
But we're understanding. I mean, Most High is sowing it in us to not that we didn't understand because we knew the scriptures, but now we're basically a part of that patience. We just grown it. Most High has grown it. Most High wants to grow things into us. Like the same thing was sown in Adam's heart. We got to pluck that out and sow this stuff in it. To where we really walking it. We really walking Bibles, walking testimonies, walking a spiritual encyclopedia.
There's a lot of stuff that the apostles have been waiting on is coming to pass. Like I talk about the 16th chapter of Revelation and how the Euphrates River would dry up and the kings of the east would get prepared. America, Babylon the Great, talking about shooting missiles at Iran. This is how we know we at the end of it.
Russia's become a guard to all those nations that was mentioned in the Ezekiel.
Yeah, this is the part of the movie we in, man. It's almost through, man.
And we have a lot in our movie. You gonna be an actor in the movie, whether you. They had drive-by, what they call it, innocent bystanders. They didn't have nothing to do with the altercation that took place on the block, but they still got shot. So you still gonna get judged even though you ain't on the forefront of the movie.
Because it's guilty by association. If you rocking with American Babylon the Great, you gonna pay for it. That's simple.
There's no hiding, man.
There ain't no hiding. Everybody's gonna pay for whatever they did. Except the elect, they gonna be forgiven. So, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you.
So you got angels reporting in the heavens, and you got us reporting to the Most High. Look, Most High, we are brothers congregate, a whole council, and then we report it. We report it to the apostles and elders of, the brethren, and then judgment take place or whatever.
And that's the problem with Jake. Jake don't want to let the apostles know what's going on. Most Jakes, they try to be in secret, man. And that's the problem with Jake. He don't want to put his sins forth in front of his leaders to make sure that you get this really dealt with, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes Jake, fall out the truth, man. Because that's our job. We're supposed to report this stuff, man. That's the point of us being here. So, and that word angel means malak. It means messenger. That's what we're supposed to do, report. If you're a news anchor, you ain't reporting no news, then what are you doing?
Yeah, they got a movie.
This is your job.
It also means a king. And
remember
the movie Chadwick, dude that played Black Panther, he had a movie called The King's Message. So, and we're rehearsing the righteous acts to be kings and priests. So in the spirit, we giving a message, the king's message. And the king is Yahweh Shai. We're giving him this message from Yahweh Shai.
So really that said like the Malak's Malak. That's crazy. Hey, that's heavy, man.
What did you have to do back then? You had to report. You had to report to the priest.
That's
you had a form of a deformity or illness or leprosy or whatever. You had to report to the priest.
It's like if you the same thing. If you're in the military, if it's your job to report something to your head officer, and you don't, they gonna look at it as you going AWOL. You a betrayer.
Yeah, they'll look for you.
They'll look for you like, what are you supposed to be reporting what the fuck's going on, bro?
Because you signed up.
Just
like an actor, you sign up for a movie. You don't want to play the role. Like, get out of here. We'll get somebody. You get another actor. Go ahead.
So preach the gospel unto you with the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit. Sent down from heaven.
Where did this word come from? Heaven. It said the word came from leaped out of the throne like a mighty warrior. I think paraphrasing. Leaped down from heaven. Nobody's Most High is not dealing with nobody on this level, but men of the Lord, as holy men. That things that come out of their mouth is not carnal mentality. When we say America's Babylon, a man can't fathom that. He don't know how that could be. But when we say we're going to get caught up in chariots, Most High will. A man don't know how that could be. A regular man. You have to be, the spirit got to be dealing with you. Go ahead. Even to know that we in a movie. Movie, it means move, like action. That's why they say action, and that you on scene. The Truman Show. They had the one we just watched with Issa Rae. Was that Issa Rae? Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. When we talked about it, how they when you was talking about how they have a thing to put on your head. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, the nubbin thing.
Yeah, the nubbin thing.
Yeah, and then they made a movie in the series called Osmosis in 2021, and they were doing the same thing. They put it in their head. You know what I'm saying? And then it like show them like who their secret soulmate is or whatever in the earth.
Yeah.
You know, and then they go and tell it to go to him, talk to him, get with him. And it was always real easy for them to get, but some of them wasn't feeling right about it because they was like knowing their hormones and everything about them and shit, like how they think and everything, man. They like monitoring these people, man.
Yeah. And,
you know?
Yeah. And that virtual reality, like when they play the game and they feel like they actually on a mountain or something, or they got to jump from one flag to another and they fall and bust their head into the TV.
Ooh, and a brother just did a little video of there was a girl, she claimed this Eve, she claimed to be the first one to take that nubbin thing. Yeah. And she was saying, like, we was watching that, I was saying that you could be a star actor in a movie, like replay it in your mind, or you can replay like a memory in your mind and all this other type of stuff, man. That's what they doing with that stuff. They're trying to entice Jake to want to be like, damn, wow, because they already torturing Jake here. So they using that to make it be like, well, you can escape reality then. Like, we already got you enslaved. When you get off work, you can be anybody you want to be, in your mind.
And what did she say? She had to alter her dreams or something.
Yep.
And then you had some characters in the movie, when they did do that, they couldn't get out of it. Like that Issa Rae movie, episode, she got stuck in virtual reality, where it became, like the Matrix, your mind made it real. So your mind could get fried even when you take that MOTB.
Yeah, because they tried to pull her out. She said we can't because there's an error in the software. And they couldn't take her out, so she had to finish the whole movie out.
And and she got afraid of being trapped in there. So even in those dreams, like if you dream of a nightmare, you can have a heart attack because you think that's real. It scares you actually in your real dreams.
That's why they showed in the Matrix when he had the thing in their head. If they pulled it out without really jacking them out of the system, it killed him.
Yeah, he said, "Let me out, let me out," and then they unplugged him and he threw up, because he was like, it's trippy, man. So that's what they want to create. They want to create a world, artificial world of intelligence according to digital world-like events, where they want to tap into the mind that way instead of spiritually how the Most High does it.
And make it comfortable, because then after you got that little nubbin thing, let's say you do commit a crime or something, they can just say, well, you can just put it on at your house for 2 hours a day or something. You put it on and then you serve your sentence a little bit and then you go back to living and shit and learning this shit. And then they program your ass.
They also said that you able to, people with a 10-year life sentence, 20-year life sentence can do it in virtual AI in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But what is that going to do? It's gonna warp your mind out. It's gonna just like that MOTB. It's gonna, Most High says it's gonna cause you to have a previous source.
Because they trying to microwave judgment, man. You can't microwave judgment, man. It says which things the angels desire to look into.
Yeah, because they in the spirit world. There's a different world in this world. What did it say that in the word of the Most High? It's quickie. When we woke up to this, the Most High woke us up to this. We woke up quick. We didn't have to go to no class for 2 years and 4 years to study this stuff. It hit us quick, like, putting the pieces together. Apostles, elders breaking it down. What do you gotta do? For doctors, you gotta be in there for 4 to 8 years. Your spirit gonna be worn out, man. These people that become doctors, they didn't stay in there for 4 to 8 years. Those were set up doctors. The doctors were planted there, and then they hire their colleagues or their nieces or their nephews or somebody that's in the operation with them, because they make sure these elite kind of people are set up first before before everybody else, so they can control the narrative. Go ahead, King.
I have one going to get caught.
Go ahead.
It's another go to that one that says Most High sent his evil angels. Just to let you know the Most High orchestrates everything. You know, like people be thinking that, you know, it's just so much evil in the world, but the Most High said He creates evil. So it's the Most High. Why would the Most High create evil? Because this movie, He wants to. Have you ever been sitting around like, let me write a movie? You know what I'm saying?
Psalm chapter 78, verse 49. It says, He cast upon them the fierceness of His anger, wrath, and indignation,
anger, wrath, indignation,
and trouble.
And trouble. If something's been trouble, Most High probably, hey, go test my son so he can exercise your spirit. He can help your spirit grow. And my son is getting weak. Go rouse him up again. You know, he might have a troublesome spirit on your boss, a stress on your boss to put stress on you, so you can be like, man, F these devils. I'm going out on the highway. You can't wait to get out there. Go ahead.
By sending evil angels among them.
Most High sent evil angels among them.
He said He was sending us in the sheep in the midst of wolves too. A sheep in the midst of wolves. So wherever you go, He gonna put you around a bunch of demons, man.
Yeah.
Keep your mind facilitated. That we still in training, man. He prepared.
He put the whole nation in the midst of it. I mean, He put us in the midst of the nation. Knowing how wicked these nations are, how, you know, they don't follow the law, but He put us in the midst to see what we do. You know. Yeah. We'll get that. Go ahead.
That was it.
Go to I'll put you in the midst of the nation. Well, you want to know who put us in the ghettos? Yeah, Esau. He's the left hand of the Most High. And if you come against Esau and you fight against him, you fight against the left hand of the Most High, and the Most High gonna knock you out with his right hand. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Go ahead, Doc.
Which one is it?
You on that one? Yeah, go ahead. Well, good.
All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 5. Thus said the Lord power. This is Jerusalem.
This is Jerusalem. Who is Jerusalem? So-called Black, Latino, Native American. Go ahead.
I have set it in the midst of the nations.
Most High set us in the midst of the nations. That lets you know too. The nations are everywhere, right? That lets you know we're gonna be everywhere. I set you in the midst of the nations. Go ahead.
And countries. That are round about her.
Go ahead.
And she had changed my judgment.
But wait a minute, we used to be in Jerusalem, right? Yep. Now the small hats are there, and the small hats are small for real. They small and despised among these nations. Yep. You could tell because little Israel over there, they surrounded by these nations. You know, they surrounded by Iran, Syria, Egypt. You know, on the other side, the Western world, Asia West or whatever. You know,
and you know, right now they got the they got right now over there. They got right now over there. They doing that thing where they doing the Good Friday for Easter, and they all walking with their crosses and stuff. Yeah, up to the mountain and stuff. Where your house child was crucified, like they had to do something with Jesus. That's why they're despising this place, because they know that's going on.
And you know what? That's going on. Yeah. Most High got us out of there, so who's the target now? Yeah. That's why everybody's gonna be. That's why they're gonna be against Israel too, as well as America.
That's mainly who Russia's gonna shoot at first, and then everybody gonna point their eyes at Babylon, because they're with them. It said the least of the flock shall draw them out. That's talking about the small hats pulling out Esau, or Esau, Edom, so-called white man, America, Babylon the Great, out there for war, man. And what do they got? They got 6 fucking them stealth bombers over there. all right, in the Middle East right now, ready to bomb Iran, man. They know what's gonna go down.
Yep.
It's gonna get hot, man.
And they thought it would cool off.
Yeah. And basically Trump trying to tell them, which we know is spiritually in the spirit Nero, from
That's
Rome.
another movie that Most High let Nero come back in the last days.
Yep.
Let me write him in the script.
Yep. And he gonna burn down Rome and blame it on Israel. That's what he gonna do. And there's many ways that he gonna do it. He gonna do it in many ways to push his political agenda. That's why the stock market is falling like a motherfucker.
But shit, what are we doing? Most High made us. He said he made his angels minister fire. We're burning down Rome, but he gonna blame it on us.
Yep.
But it's spiritual. We're not physically burning Rome, but he gonna blame it on us as we're causing trouble to Rome.
Yep, and they physically and financially doing it. Through the stock market, it's been $11 trillion, $12 trillion in debt since he's been in office. He only been in office for like 5 months.
Yeah.
Then you got LA burning down, Oklahoma burning down, a whole bunch of places burning down, man.
Like you said before, Most High steered the spirit in.
Yeah.
And when he was an intern, when he was losing all that money
when he had them Trump hotels.
Get back,
when he had them Trump hotels. He was doing the same thing he's doing then, man.
Mm-hmm.
Rousing up people. Yeah. So he can make
sure he was losing a lot of money.
He was losing a lot of money.
Now he gonna be like, hell,
he was so much
raise rent, raise tax.
But he made it where he was so much in debt that banks was like, we can't just get rid of him. We gotta fuck with him because we all lost all this money, man. He a smooth talker, man. As I said, Esau eating smooth as butter. Yeah. And right now he trying to threaten Iran and them, talking about if they don't get rid of their nuclear capabilities, they don't get rid of all their nuclear facilities and stuff, and where they have examinations every month, then they're gonna have dire consequences. What that sound like, man? That's World War III, man. That's what we had in the movie, man. It's gonna go down.
Yeah. Hey, we almost at the end of the movie, man.
Yeah.
Credits about to roll.
Yeah.
When the credits are rolling, that we in the chariots, man. We close out good. Go ahead.
It says, verse 6. And she had changed my judgments.
See, you were supposed to be the example of what the nation should do. They look up on you and they be like, oh, that's Jerusalem. That's what we should be like. The dogs are looking for a word. All right, that's on. He's like, what's going on? Get some of that. But, go ahead.
And she had changed my judgments into wickedness.
Change your judgment. You were supposed to judge the nation. You changed it into wickedness. You did what the nation did and shit. Go ahead.
More than the nation.
More than the nation. Woo. You did more than the nation. So the angels are watching the movie and being like, Jerusalem, like, can't get it together. Because, and then you be like, then they see the hopeful elect, they be like, oh, shit, okay, who is this over there? Oh, Most High sent some other men, teachers. Well, I thought Jerusalem was done. Like these other nations say, hey, when she's down, get her. This is Jerusalem, what we call city of peace. She ain't over, and they put on your neck, Jerusalem's neck. Like, damn, I thought y'all was something. Yeah. But then when they see us, they be like, oh shit, who? Well, Most High raised up from the dead. Can these dry bones live? Go ahead.
And my statutes more than the countries that are round about her.
Yep.
For they have refused my judgments and my statutes.
And my statutes. Go ahead.
They have not walked in them.
Yep. I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, the Most High put us in the midst of the nation. So the movie is like, like what is Jerusalem gonna do? The angels like, what is Jerusalem gonna do in this situation? They downtrodden. They ain't got no money. How is she gonna get out of this? And there ain't no way but to call on the Most High. And that's how the Most High gonna get that ultimate praise, because the angels are gonna be like, great is the glory, great is and the honorable and glorious power of all power, Yahweh. And his son Yahweh Shai, he has proclaimed victory over the wickedness, over the wicked. And through his saints, he have trodden the wicked down. Through his word, he have trodden the wicked down. So what do these men do? A lot of these men do, they lose patience and be like, I don't see how this is adding up. like this movie whack. You know what I'm saying? And they're not looking at it spiritual. You know, they adding up all kind of shit. Like I bought popcorn for this. I bought, candy bar, soda, and all that. I spent all my money.
Damn,
You dumbass, you shouldn't have did that. The movie is different from the act. I mean, the movie people are different from the actual movie. You should have just went to watch the movie. Brought your own snacks and shit, bro. You didn't want to spend all that movie money and shit.
They always talk about Jay creative. God, dog, Jay, bring your own shit sometimes.
Yeah. They ain't gonna check you and shit for candy bars and
Leave that shit in there.
Yeah. Then be like, if you don't like the movie, but at least I didn't waste my time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we give movies 10 minutes now, 15 minutes.
Man, shit.
If that shit don't, you turn that shit, man.
We're gonna have a front row seat in the living room.
Don't tell me you spent 20 years in the truth, but you just coming. I mean, you just have it in your mind that damn, man. Yeah, this ain't working. This ain't seem like it's right. After 10 or 15 years, 20 years,
that's not even no time for the Lord. That's like 2-3 seconds to the Lord, man. Yeah. That's not no time, man.
But if you call yourself wise, you should have known that within the first year or something. First 6 months to a year.
Volcano down there. Volcano. I got one.
So you can't blame that on the truth or the apostles and elders.
Yep.
If you feel you lost out, that's your loss.
Yeah. And that's the one thing Jake he say he accountable. You can't blame somebody else for whatever you do. We all men. We gotta know that whatever we do is on us.
It's like that Alizé shit.
Yeah.
That's your shit.
You gotta blame that on the
that's your
shit,
elders, man.
Like, and I don't really speak on it too much because I'm a young brother, but it's still like that's just in general, man. You can't blame other men for what you've done. Right. And that's how Esau is. And it said, don't take no ways of the oppressor.
Oh, and it says that too.
Take it his ways.
Yeah.
That's how they get down. They blame everybody else for the reason why they in this shithole in this mess. Yeah. It's their fault, man. They got to pay for it.
Hey, we sucking up our tab with the Most High. We know why we can't, make this buku money or be celebrities and shit. Not that we desire to, but we know. We like, okay. We know that we sinned against the Most High.
Yeah,
we're taking that rest.
Yeah, we taking our punishment and we taking it cheerfully. It said take it cheerfully. We glad that we even able to take the punishment, man. Because he could have just did away with our ass, man.
And it says also that let every man account for what he does in his body.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't be in your body and then you like,
it was his fault.
It was the spirit was in him too, and both.
No. You got
that weird ass shit.
Yeah. That's why I said secret fear and trembling, because you got your own tab with the Lord that you got to get white clean.
Okay.
This is one of the next part of the movies. One of the movies, which was Solomon chapter 5 verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Yep, the righteous man. Go ahead.
Before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Yep, because they have the power. They have the power to lock you up, have the power to bring in, martial law, have a part to divide you and separate you from your brothers. Not the power though, Yahweh Yahushai, but physically they have a lot of power. So we're still out here on the highways and byways telling them that the wicked's gonna go down, that America's going down, because righteousness. You believe in righteousness, you believe in the righteousness of the Most High. Yahushai, go ahead.
Before the face of such as have afflicted him,
they afflicted us. Go ahead.
And made no account of his labors.
Yep. They made no account of slavery. They made an account of this labor. Any labor, especially this. Go ahead.
Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
See what? Well, when it talks about Ezekiel, the dry bones came alive. If you saw some dry bones coming alive, you're going to be fearing too. If you saw a man that resurrected from the dead, you're going to fear too. And if you saw men that you're supposed to keep in captivity, that's supposed to be dumbed down, on crack, gang banging, into prostitution, all that, and you saw them stand up on their feet and talking righteous, and living it and living by it, you should be afraid too.
Yep. Prophets of doom coming back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's going to be and especially this what's Gary mentioned. Go ahead.
So they shall be troubled with terrible fear,
Yep.
and shall be amazed at the strangeness
And shall be amazed by the strangeness. Go ahead.
of his salvation.
Of his salvation. Yeah, what is our salvation? Caught up in those chariots. How is that possible? Well, in this movie, Esau could be, in his movies, he could be Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. He could be the Green Lantern. He could be the Flash.
Yeah.
And when he wake up every morning, he stretches on a Saturday morning and he goes in and he feels like Superman. So he goes there and mountain climbs and dives off shit, you know, rules the world, ski boat and skiing and boat, you know, riding across the ocean and shit. Because he feels like Superman. Because he done watched so many movies, but that's in his spirit too. Most I said he was dwelling in high places. But that all goes together with it. Go ahead. The excitement that Esau has, but now Mosiah is taking that away from him because they committing suicide. They talking about like, oh shit, like I'm an Edomite, or it don't even have to be that. They like, oh, America done lied to us. They said they're gonna be beside themselves, paraphrasing, about how their fathers lied to them.
And it said that children shall complain of an ungodly father. And you even got the whole task force that's part of the technology sector that basically protects from cyber attacks, from them shutting down the grid, the electrical grid and stuff. All of them just resigned, man.
Yeah.
They all just resigned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
they not believing in this place no more. They really trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what the lady in I think it was Arkansas. It was the ladies in DHS, the head leaders of them in Arkansas. They were saying you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
They starting to flee this place, just like the other nations. They said, we gonna make some money on somewhere else, man. This shit ain't working over here, man.
So what do you do when you see your people you got in captivity start to flee? You set up barricades.
Yep.
You set up, checkpoints. You set up 15-minute cities.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna try to do it with the mind too. That's why they got this another thing coming out.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to trap you through your mind, so you don't feel like you gotta leave, man.
Yeah.
Because it said he heaped them together all people. That's what they do. Yeah. So they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Yeah.
So far beyond all that they look for.
So why can't we get caught up into those chariots, man? They can be Superman. Hey, they fly jets. China said they got an artificial sun. They got a suit that you can use in a war that makes you look invisible. Why can't we get invisible? Why do we, we profess a power that has the power over these nations, man? But yet we can't disappear. Beam me up, Scotty. We can't disappear. We can't, have any kind of power.
Yeah.
They don't even want us having this fucking this fuck money, fiat money and shit. They don't even want us having that.
And that's why they're afraid, because they know that this truth is a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
This is a superpower.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I was talking to the Ock this morning. I woke up trying to like move some with my hand or something, like some telekinesis. I was like, I was in the middle of a dream. I was trying to move some shit when I woke up. I was like, I'm back in this.
Hey, the world, because in the world, some of the movies that they make when a man is invisible, when they is an outer rim or something, and the people looking on, they look like, what is he doing? Like, you doing this, and there ain't nobody there. But the angels see who's there.
Yeah.
They see, because we buy spiritual wickedness high places, so they see these elements, these frequencies, and the vibration. They on a high level, so they know. So they be in awe too, by how we handle things, because we supposed to be like, how it says the spirit of the flesh is weak, the spirit is ready. The flesh is weak. You supposed to be like, oh, get hit, But now the angels, the spirits, they'll mess with you and they be like, oh shit.
And just
like the ones that said, we know that, we know. We don't know y'all. I know Yahweh Shai, but who are y'all? Like, You know what I'm saying?
And they beat his ass up.
Yeah.
And that's like, just like you were saying, like the spirit is willing, you know. So it's like the Lord, you ain't gotta really take that too much time to come back. He can bring you right back, man. He can bring you right back. And that's what it said. It said after Jacob's trouble, the dead shall be raised incorruptible. The ones that are part of the elect that did die in the faith, man.
They said they
bring them right back up, man.
They said they should be quickened too.
Be quickened, man.
Like the spirit is quick. Like the angels don't have to run like a man across the country. They just teleport. Just stay there.
They just there.
They don't have to do what we do. But Most High is seeing how we're going to handle this physical house, this physical body. Because that's exercising your mind. Because in the physical, you're supposed to be according to, you know, how the Most High could bring you down, or how it could be brought down. Because you just a beast. You just a beast out there. Like you living like an animal. Like everything is like Frankenstein up in this motherfucker. But now we got knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and they gonna be like, damn. At least be like, they were supposed to fall right there.
Yep.
We put out some of the most psychological methods, even in war, and they didn't fall for this shit. Yep. So now they upping it, and they're like, well, let's try this AI. Let's try to ban some stuff, move stuff around. You know, let's try to subliminally put them on the news, but we don't want to really, you know,
talk about them because once they start talking about it, they're gonna look into it because there's good angels and evil angels, and both of them like looking into shit. So as soon as they start really saying that GMS is about something, they gonna look into it. Just like when they have rappers that diss a rapper or something, talk shit about him, what they do? They gonna start listening to his music. They gonna say, like, well, let's see if he really talking about it.
And then they come out with the diss album like, yeah, your catalog ain't that good. Your first record fell. You know what I'm saying? You said this in your record. It didn't make no sense.
They start scanning them out. But when you go over here try to scan out this song, because just like I was saying the last time I did, melody is a form of remembrance. Once they come over here and see that we remember and we got this tune right, you gonna see this album solid, man.
That's where you get.
Hey, this album's solid, man.
That's where you get record. Record means remember basically.
Yeah.
You recording you and you rip. You know, so that's like it's almost like I set this example of the woman. Like if you marry a woman and then she leaves you for another man, and then they got a relationship, but y'all was together like 10 years. Well, when she's dancing with a new man, and a song come on that she remember dancing with you, she gonna think about you. Or she gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? She gonna be in bed, and then he like, this is one of my favorite songs. Oh, don't play that. Why? I just don't want, because she was playing that when she was laying with her first man.
Yep, and that's how it is with 2/3 right now. That's why they don't want to hear this song. They out there laying with these other nations, living with these heathens, and out here living with them, and then as soon as the song comes out, I don't want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear none of that.
And the nations are calling them out, like, remember we danced? I don't remember that. Yeah. they tell them Most High. I went to the prom with the Most High. She was getting down.
Yeah.
You don't want to see, even when if you get with a woman, you don't want to like. And she been with your homeboy because she's around the block. You don't want to hear your homeboy tell you about him being with the woman she used to get down.
You know,
I ain't marrying this woman.
Somebody gonna get beat up.
Hey, you know, my dad is like that, man. Me and my grandmother, you know, we whenever I go see her, me and her every now and again we have spiritual talk, you know. She agree with a lot that I say, you know. And but one day, So she my dad was present at one time, you know, we was at her house. And then her got to speaking spiritual again. He said, hey, he said, I ain't trying to hear that. He said, I'll leave right now. Like in my head, I'm like, bye. Because my dad, so I'm like, hey, my grandmother, she like, you know, she like, well, man, my grandson is talking right now, and
because he gotta respect her. That's his mother. So hey, she overrides, man.
She like, this we talking about the fight, but yeah, Jake don't be want to hear that.
He don't want to hear that shit because you know he out there cheating. His ass out there with the Mother Nations obeying their laws and following them.
So, and he built a relationship with you.
Yep.
That's why it says Israel call thy lovers.
Yep. I got one going into the next part of the movie.
This whole movie is about a woman that separated from her power, her husband, her Lord, and went into these other nations. And you know, the father of the bridegroom had to send him back into her to get her to come back, but through strict discipline.
Yep.
Like, because she's crying out. I people be crying out, man.
Yeah.
I be crying all the time and shit. Even in this industry. Yeah, my contract, man, I ain't getting paid and shit. I wonder, you know what I'm saying? Lord, what? Yeah, but all that time he was boogie and having fun, drinking champagne and shit, like Angie Stone. I need my money and shit.
Yeah.
They wiped out. They wiped her away, man.
Yeah, that's Jake, man. Most Jake did cry.
He cried like a motherfucker.
And don't want a man.
Got a rapper called The Baby. Got another rapper called Little Baby.
And his song, he said too, Wayne.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
I think it's The Baby.
Yeah, he said, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, come on.
They do that shit,
babies, man.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? And they is gonna be babies in the kingdom.
Yep, they're gonna come back and hug you.
Yeah, they're gonna come back. There's some golden huggies in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Golden swaddle.
Yeah, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 1. And it reads, nevertheless, as the coming tokens, you know, prophecies, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. Woo! That's what's coming next. So you had the men of great boldness stand up. This is what's coming next in the movie. That's why we tell Jake mainly about judgment. That's what's coming next.
And some of us have seen the movie like, you gonna love this part. You know what I'm saying? And then the other people that don't understand the movie, they be like, you talking about when 1,000 people got beheaded and shit? Yeah. How am I gonna love that shit? Because they don't understand.
Yep.
They don't know who's the bad guy and the good guy. Yep. If your daughter comes home and she say, yeah, I almost got great. Like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Yeah, I punched him in the face and I threw a brick in his head and bust his skull. You're gonna be like, that's my daughter. She ain't gonna be feeling sorry for this motherfucker.
Yep.
So, you know, all those that's gonna be beheaded, I mean, you know, on the left-hand side or 2/3 that gonna be judged, we ain't gonna be feeling, we're gonna be happy.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that's causing Israel trouble, man.
We're gonna be happy that they ain't with them. Yep. We're gonna be happy that we actually got out of here, man. Because we ain't gonna even be worried about them. You know what it said? Don't worry about the ungodly that perish. Like, we just gonna be glad that we not them, man.
If we in them chairs, we're gonna be looking down through the glass and we're gonna be like, man, I'm glad that's not us. Us and shit.
Yep. And at that point, just think about it. When you in the chariots, you know, which you know is called the sea of glass in Revelation, you in that sea of glass. You at that point, you immortal. You ain't entering no chariot without being immortal. And it said we will be frightened of the Lord. Immortality at the same time. Yep. That's how. Hey man, this ain't nothing to play with, man. You know, it's serious, man.
It says when the captivity turns from Jerusalem, it should be like them that dream. This is a dream, but it's a nightmare because we're trapped in it. It's like you ever wake up and you can't, and you still in your nightmare. You ever had a dream within a dream? Wow. You think you woke, and then you still horrified by something else that happened. Even Martin Luther King said, I didn't let my people to a burning house. This dream is become a nightmare because he know the enemy. He know that that's the real enemy. He ain't gonna change. He's not gonna change, and he got the power. Yeah. And they showed them. Rats showed him that because they was right beside him when he did that speech. Yeah. So he was like, you know, like, damn. See, he's seeing it for what he saw it in his spirit. Like, how can I tell my people this? How can I prepare speech after I done told them? You know. Hey, when set in stone is what's set in stone. That's what GMS go by. That's what the apostle elders go by. They ain't thinking about like how can I tell my people that America's gonna thrive because it ain't gonna thrive. We ain't going back on our word, man. because we getting it from the word itself, the author himself. Go ahead. And what is the MOTB if it ain't the RFID chip? Because if it's Christianity, everybody is a Christian. I mean, everybody, it's easy to be a Christian. You could get a Christian card and shit. You got a Walmart card, you got a Walgreens card, you can have a Christian card. You can wear a cross around your neck and they'll let you go. Oh, you're a Christian, but you're really an Israelite. What did Paul say? He said, I'm a Roman. And the guy backed off of him. He's like, damn, oh, this is a Roman and shit right here. They didn't, but he was really an Israelite. So he used that card. You think the Most High wouldn't allow us to use the card? Because we say we the real Christians now. Because Christian means Mashiach, it just means anointed. So if somebody say, are y'all Christians? Well, yeah, we are Christians. But we gotta break it down if they don't understand. Yeah. So you can use that card. I'm a Christian. Yeah. Obviously. Paul through his life, he said, I may gain some of you through my life. So that ain't going up, and we still, we looking for everybody.
We just said it in a watered down term. Because Christian, when you really go into it, it means Hamashiach. It means the anointed one. That's all it means. That's why you anoint your brothers with oil. Goes back to that. That's why I got Christian. Goes back to the oil, man. The anointed. Well, this is a different type of oil. That's why I said, thou prepares me a table in front of my enemies, anointed thine hair with oil. That's talking about the wisdom, man.
Yeah, the knowledge,
it's spiritual,
and that's
spiritual, man.
And that's why they the so-called Christians.
Yep. The so-called Christians, the Antichrist.
That's right.
What we call them, the anti-anointed, because they're calling on the wrong name.
And not
if they checked your house and said everybody got the chip in here, if the spirit on you, yeah. And he's like, okay, sure. And
he don't check nobody. All right, cool. And you got that one brother, he had a dream where they had like a fake one on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They try to have a fake one so they can still get in the stores and stuff. And they went through and he scanned both of them and it said it was on there, but they knew they didn't have it. But then one of the brothers that was with him, they scanned it and he had it on him. He actually had it because when they seen it, he had that sore on him. You know what I mean? He had that cancer on him, man. So the Lord can make a way in any situation.
Because there's two marks, the mark that exempts you and the mark the karadama.
Yep, that mark is, he's talking about exemption is the Tawaf.
Yep.
Okay? That's that exemption from judgment. Those men who sigh and cry about the abominations done in the midst thereof. Yep. And that's going to be hidden. Yep. So it shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. And the land shall be barren of faith. That's a feminine word, man.
Yeah, feminine word. And also, what did the Jews do that were going off? They admitted the weightier laws of the matter, the weightier the matters of the law. Mercy, faith, and judgment. Faith. And Most High said he had a controversy with the land because there's no
truth, knowledge.
Truth. There's no truth, mercy, and faith in the land, I think.
Faith and knowledge of the Most High in the land. Yeah. That's Hosea 4:1. You want to go to?
Just to make sure. So the Most High had already set this up in the beginning to where, he already set the path. He set life and death. He set right and wrong. He said when the man went off, he said, unless he take the tree of life, he basically won't make it. But we got to make a way for him. Go ahead.
This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. And it reads, hear the word of the Lord.
Hear the word of the Lord, which Israel rejects. Go ahead.
Ye children of Israel.
Children of Israel. All that stuff that Israel be going through, the domestic stuff, the fights, arguments, this and that, opinionated stuff that sets them off to where they kill each other, it could be all solved if they just listen to the Most High. Because this is the voice of reason. This is the word of reason. They be like, well, let's go with the scriptures say. Because everybody tries to be the big boss and chief. Well, how you know you right? Well, let's go to the scriptures. Now it says, don't do this. No, okay. You're right, brother. You're right. Shalom. Shit.
We ain't telling you, the Lord telling us to tell you.
Yeah. You play Jacob play a game of Scrabble, and they be like, "How we know that's the word? You got to go to the manual."
Jacob want to be movie star and don't even want to read the script. Come on, man. You gotta read the script right.
Yep. And if you apostles used to say it too. Give me another reader and shit. You don't know your lines and shit.
Yeah.
I remember that back then. I mean, they showed in the Malcolm X movie. Malcolm X had a speech, and the dude that was supposed to bring his speech, he didn't have it. He's like, what am I gonna say and shit? Like, I ain't got my speech. But what it to say, the Most High will put it in you to know what to say, so your enemies can't gainsay. Yep. But this is a rehearsal. You got to make sure, because it'll get in you, and all that stuff the Most High put together in your spirit to know what to say at that time. Go ahead.
So for the Lord have controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
With the inhabitants of the land. Go ahead.
Because there's no truth.
No truth. Everything's a lie. You know, you got it now. People are touching trees to see if it's real or not. Is this AI or, you know, they saying if that's a real movie or not. Was that AI or did Denzel really star in that movie?
Yep.
You know, so everything's a lie, man. The spirit, the Holy Spirit, the discerner of lies.
Yep.
You know, it exposes the lie. It brings out the truth. You know, truth is a mock. Truth is simple. It's supposed to be. The simplicity of Yahweh Shai is supposed to. Hey, that's a tree. That's really a tree. That ain't no. There ain't no car. It's a tree. And if anybody say it's a car, they got a mentally ill. They got a mentally ill problem and shit. Why do you think they got mentally ill institutions and all that? Because this person ain't thinking right. How do they determine that? By some common knowledge or common, things that you should know.
They didn't have to get super deep with it.
Yeah.
Go in there and look at the infrastructure of his brain. They just had to find out if he knew simple stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Nor mercy. Nor knowledge of the Most High in the land.
Or knowledge of the Most High in the land. You know, they don't have knowledge of the Most High. They got knowledge of Jesus. If his name was Jesus and they had not, and how come people don't know about the real truth about the Bible of the Son of God, even though they call him Jesus? They still think they don't even know that
he's coming back with judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
They have no idea.
Unless you mention y'all, unless you tell them the truth about who he really is, Yahweh Shai. If you say Jesus, they gonna be like, nah, Jesus didn't do that. Jesus was a peaceful man. And you're like, well, right here, well, you reading an evil Bible, but when you say Yahweh Shai, they're gonna be like, I don't even know Yahweh Shai. And then you're gonna let them get to know Yahweh Shai. They're gonna be like, well, okay, I believe it now, because it makes sense because I never knew about the Yahweh Shai, and now you telling me about what he did, about what they didn't tell you. Then it says, okay, now I'm getting to know the real Son of God.
Yep.
You know,
he's not coming with no helping everybody out, man.
And that's what that's what Yahweh Shah said. He said you need to know his shape, his frame. Cursing out the Jews, the Israelites. You know, like, because that's a shame. You know, it's a shame for Israel not to truly, which that's part of the curses. You know, it's a shame you don't walk around and don't even know, who your true power is. You know, and his name or even how his physical attribute.
Well, like I said, when a daughter has a father that passed away and he's a great man, he goes like, and she never saw him. What did he look like? And well, I remember your father used to come into the room, and he was a stout man. He was, he was 5'11", but he looked in his spirit. He looked like he was 6'5". Yeah, because it was present. And then she'd be like, "Tell me more." You want to hear everything about your father, man. Everything about the true Son of God. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 66, verse 16. And it reads, for by fire.
But see, this generation, they don't love their parents. It says disobedient parents. They don't care about who their father is. They took the father out the home. They made the son, they put the son against the father against the son. Well, it said Yahweh Shai would do that. I came to set variance between the father and his son.
That's right.
And daughter and her mother. You know, because y'all seem like y'all love it so anyway. Y'all don't mind it. You got young girls that run away from home, you know, from their mothers, but they'll say they running from home from their mother because they don't agree. They disagree with their mother, but they never say because we don't have our father. That's the first thing that should come out of our mouth. What happened to daddy? Why we don't have a father now? You know? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 16. And it reads, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
Yep.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
So it's going to be judgment in this place. And it's going to be all kind of judgment. The judgment of man, beast, you know, the judgment of chariots coming over there. The judgment of Esau coming down on Jacob. The judgment of the scriptures coming up on you. Because Jake got a plague of mind. Let's say you've been in the truth and you soaked it in, and now you're back in the world. You'll bug out, man. Woo. You know? And you'll do some wicked ass, crazy, evil shit.
Like Yahushua, he went into that. He said that we spoke about the man cleaning his house. And then
be furnished, and then the demons leave.
And then they come back
seven times more, which is completion, like a complete amount of wickedness coming back into you after you done came and tried to fix yourself in the truth. That's why, you know, Zaquan was, when we were talking about it the other day, you know, and I think we're talking a little bit more about too, like enduring to the end. You can't fall out one time. You can't fall out and then come back into the truth.
No.
Because history repeats itself. So if you fell out, that's it.
Or take a little break.
That's it. Man. Once we were given this truth, whatever point in life when we were given this truth, you know, we had to endure, man.
Paul said, he said, they that run the race run all. I mean, you gotta run the whole race. Ain't no running. And you go to the side, take a Gatorade.
Yeah, and it said the day of the Lord is, the day of the Lord is 1,000 years. Yeah. So we know we've been running this race for a little bit, man.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. At your job, if you miss 2 days straight without calling the supervisor, you fired.
Right.
And the first one day. Yeah, one day, sometimes you get fired. And if not, you're going to have a good explanation when you come to the job. And maybe they might let you stay, but it's going to be some serious rebuke. Yeah. You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. You know? You're going to have a point on you.
You're going to have a point on you.
And see, Jake, they respect Esau more than Yahushua, man. Because when it comes to them jobs, like you said, they might miss a day, but as far as 1 or 2 or 3 more days, they gonna get to it. See, but when it comes to doing this work,
same thing with school.
Yeah.
Same thing with this work.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
No.
And I was gonna say too with this movie, you gotta, even in your own lot of this movie and your situation, you're gonna be like, I wonder how the Most High gonna get me out of this. You gotta believe that He's gonna get you out of it. You gotta be all like the angels. You gotta be eating popcorn too, like, Lord, how you gonna get me out of this? Then you be like, Lord got me out of that. Yeah. I can't wait to tell the brothers.
Hey, you can, you know, when the Lord was on the scene, when Yahushua was on the scene, you know, when you read about him and how when he would encounter certain, you know, Jakes that would have that faith, and he'd be like, you could just, you know, we got that vision. You visualize what we read. You can just imagine the face expression on the Lord's face. And I was like, oh no, you got faith. you know, your eyes kind of get wide. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go on it. So without faith, it's impossible to please Yahweh Shema Shah. So
Yahweh said that even to them, without faith, you just will not come about you and without your faith. You got to believe that this happen. And our people lack faith, man. They lack faith with the herbs. They lack faith with living right. But they like, man, I know, I didn't try to live right. You ain't really try to live right according to the scripture. You might have done it in your own mind. Yeah, I cleaned up my act. I stopped that. You think the devil gonna stop? We gonna attack you even more. It says when you come into the truth, prepare your soul for temptation. He's gonna even attack you more. Because he don't want you to get rooted and grounded.
He that departed from evil making himself a prey.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta have that, with this melody, with this song, you gotta have the trait of inevitability in your ears, man. It's gotta be inevitable. Like this is gonna happen. You gotta have that type of faith. We know this is gonna happen.
Yeah. And you know what? That goes to what Yahweh Shah said, the parable, the riddle that he imparted unto his disciples when he spoke about the mountain being thrown into the sea. But he said that's gonna happen through faith. So that's why this place is crumbling, because of the faith of the whole body of Yahweh Shah, man.
It says it's impossible to please the Most High. Without faith, it's impossible.
That's right.
Yep. And then what it it's like, what do you do? It's like we'll say faith comes from the hearing of the word. You gotta hear the word. You gotta, because when you hear something, you're gonna do it. When you write a list of things down, the next thing to do is do them. Like you don't make a list, like a grocery list. You make you write down what kind of groceries you want, and you gotta go get those groceries. But you got to have money to get them, so you got to get a job to get the money to get the groceries.
Yeah. So it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. So it ain't gonna be overnight thing. We're not. Most High ain't gonna. He could. I mean, he could, but he don't work like that. He wants you to be exercised in truth and the real natural way. Because you see how people are natural. Apostle Gabar made a video about how women used to be natural. Yeah. And the gradualism took them away. But then when they go back, they were like, damn, we were more natural back then. We were more beautiful back then. I look stupid with the pink hair and shit. I look stupid with the blonde hair,
Yeah. And that's why wisdom is a nurturing spirit. You know what I'm saying? It nurtures you over time. Like that's how our women were in that day. Yeah. They would nurture you through a process so you can be fully grown. It's just like plants. You try to just make a plant real quick. That's what Esau be trying to do. Just microwave a damn plant, do this synthetic GMO ass shit. It's not going to be healthy for you. It's not going to have the nutrients it needs to feed you.
And who were they competing with or trying to imitate by leaving those natural ways? Who were they trying to imitate? Esau imitate the psychological stuff in there. So where he said this is beauty. That Hollywood shit. So our people try to be like that. When they got into that music, going back in the 20s and stuff, 30s, they got into the music scene and the movies, and they said, damn, just like the field woman, she tried to look pretty like the housewoman. Damn, now I gotta wear makeup on. You know how they did Whoopi Goldberg in The Color Purple. She was like looking down, and I think the other woman, the house woman that was pretty, she kind of fixed Whoopi Goldberg up. I think she kind of put lipstick on her and made her kind of look, and she kind of felt pretty and shit.
Remember what the old girl said to her? She said, "You sure is ugly."
Yeah. See, and that's what Esau be saying to Israel, like, y'all come from poor neighborhoods, y'all ugly. Yeah. And then we believe in that shit. Yep. But we still beautiful people, man, no matter what state we in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Amos chapter 9, verse 13. This is what's coming up next. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. Yeah. And the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine.
You know what it makes me think of when you said the plowman? Makes me think of a lawnmower man. We saw that?
Yep.
And he had to gradually learn because they called him stupid and all that.
Yep.
And he had to go through a process of becoming intelligent or so-called intelligent, whatever. And our state will be wise. So you got to learn these things to overcome the reaper. Go ahead. Yep.
And the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt.
Where was that at?
Amos 9, 13. So that how that plowman is going to overtake the reaper is through judgment, man. Nuclear destruction, man. Unless you go to, go to.
I can talk in the meanwhile, yeah.
But that's what's coming. That's how the Lord is gonna plead with all flesh, overtaking the reaper. But like we were saying, Jake just anything Esau tell him to do, man, he owned it. Yep. But as soon as he come to his people, since we the plowman right now, he don't want to take us serious, man. But we about to overtake the reaper, man. In the spirit of God, Yahweh Shema.
Yeah, we're gonna get that word plow right quick. Okay. I think the apostle that definition.
You want to go on the blue line?
Yeah. And etymology, just alone plow and then plow man. What plow?
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and go into that word plow. I'll pull it up over here with the plow.
All right, this is plow in the etymology online. It says agricultural implement.
What did we tell you about how there's a difference between the agriculture and the industrial? Esau is industrial now. Everything is machinery. Everything is robot. Everything is geared toward the advancement of more technology. We're agricultural. We're still planting seeds. We're still doing things the natural way, as best as we can, even according to the law. We're still keeping ceremonies, the Passover, the high holy days.
Yeah.
Esau say, forget about that shit. Let's just, party and shit.
Yeah.
Because all his holidays are partying. It ain't no. Of course, they got like memorable mentions of like 9/11, all that. But they don't really, what I'm saying? It's not really ceremonial with moral codes, because a lot of those wars they did deceitfully, and they trampled their opponent unfairly. Go ahead.
And
this is agricultural implement drawn by animals used to cut ground and turn it up to prepare it for sowing or planting.
Prepare for sowing and planting. Like that's why women don't sow no more. That used to be a patience. Remember that? They sew a whole blanket quilt. That took patience. They'll sew that for like a month, 2 months straight. They'll be working on that every day. Thinking but they don't do that no more because they, like you said, everything is mentioned earlier. Everything is microwave. But the beautiful, when she gets done, it's a beautiful work. Like I worked 2 months on it. Mm-hmm. When the things that if you have a blanket that's sewn, that's homemade and sewn, it costs more than the blankets in the store because it was actually done by a person that sewed it with their own hands.
And nobody really seen it. Nobody really seen it until the full process is complete. And that's man, this is heavy right here with that word plowman means.
Yeah.
How you say it in the Hebrew is haras, right? Haras. Well, that's how you say it in the Syrian Hebrew. How would you say that? Harash. All right, we'll put us an A with the line on.
Oh no, you got it.
That's right. Harash. Yeah, Harash. Yeah. And it says, and that's that word plowman, okay? And it says, to engrave plow, but it also says from the idea of secrecy, to be silent.
Yep, to be silent. Just like that woman, just like us. We are women. We supposed to be silent. Just work. Just go to work.
That's heavy, man.
We're the ones that's putting that sewing that blanket quilt. We're the ones that's sewing that garment every day for Yahweh Shai. To how you want to make your garment. We making Yahweh Shai garment. We fixing up for
hook it up for it.
You know what I'm saying? We know what he likes.
Yeah.
We know his favorite color and all that.
Yeah. And then it says imagine, and that's what we do. We think about the kingdom. Leave off speaking. Hold peace. Be quiet. Rest. Practice secretly. See, keep silence, be silent, speak not a word.
And that goes along with not trying to take over Esau right now.
Yep. We
just sit down. We ain't gonna trying to bear no weapons and trying to get no military together to take Esau. That ain't gonna work anyway.
Yeah, this is a family. This is a family affair. We just talking with the family. You know, we're looking for the elect.
Yep.
Be still.
Be still.
And then it says hold tongue.
Hold your tongue.
And it says worker.
Worker, man.
Worker, man. Yeah,
because the Most High got just figured out. He already got, he already got Esau, and he already got this stuff. Moab gonna be a wash pot. He already got everybody's sentence already out. Even if from the beginning he told the serpent, "You should go on your belly," you know, and eat dust all your days. He was passing out curses.
Oh yeah, that made me think. That made me think of that one. Right there.
Yeah, we'll wait on that one. All right, we'll come back to it. All right. So we're in a movie about this woman that found out that she was an Israelite, which is talking about Israel, and her enemies, when she did, her enemies came at her because she was supposed to be this captive woman. She broke those mental chains of slavery with their education, with their religion, and all kind of shit. And then now they're coming at her. You know, now, and she got the book, and they trying to get the book, you know, like take their book out of her hand. So they've been now, Most High, we didn't rehearsing so much, it's in our minds now. Because remember, Israel used to forget about the law, and they would go into the temple and find the book, and they was like, oh, we got to get back to this. We take down the groves and take down the statues and the idols and all that. Let's burn this shit. Because they'll forget, they'll get comfortable and gradually get into the sinning again, and they'll forget the law. That's why the Most High said, if you forget my law, I'll forget you and your children. You know? So, you know, how Jake be like, if you ain't occupied in prophecy, you ain't in the book, you ain't studying, you'll start to forget breakdowns. You'll start to forget, you know, and then you'll be like, occupied with all this other stuff, and you're like, well, that don't even matter. You know, you'll try to justify that shit.
Yeah, and disciple means student. If you don't do your homework, you ain't gonna pass the test, Jake.
Discipline. That's where they get disciple from.
You ain't gonna pass the test, man.
Yeah. So, and then you know how you grow up. They had a love story. The woman grow up, and they show the man and the woman not met yet. You know what I'm saying? And they show him in high school, and he's young. And, you know, they started high school, basically. You know, he's like 16. And then, you know, 18. And they go to the prom together and shit. And then they get out of high school and they continue to stay together. They might move to another state and go to school together. And then they get older and they buy a house together. It's a love story. You know? This is what we're building with Yahweh Shai. We're the bride, we're the woman that Most High fell in love with in high school through Yahweh Shai. You know, and now, you know, now we're a grown woman and we got wisdom now. Now the devil's coming in, trying to bully and trying to, you know, get the woman away from the man. They slew Yahweh Shai, hung him on a tree. They like, let's get back to this getting this woman, make sure she's, you know, and that's what they're doing now. This woman is learning who she is now, getting back to her heritage and all that, and now they're trying to get rid of the body of the man, which is the saints, because we represent Yahweh Shai. So now they're gonna try to attack us, and this is that movie to where it said when the enemy come in like a flood. We can't get to that part of the movie in the near future.
I was just reading over that last night. This is
every movie, and sometimes they get gushy with it. You know, we like, but every movie got a man that comes to save the woman. The Batman movie, Django, right? It was all to save that woman. And that's what Yahweh Shai is coming back to do, to save that woman. Yep. The elect. Beautiful. You know? Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. And it reads, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun.
Yep.
When the enemy shall come in like a flood.
The east, because the east sun rises in the east. So from the west to the east, all over this place. From one end to the other, they all gonna fit. Go ahead.
Yep. When the enemy shall come in like a flood.
When they shall come in like a flood, when they, against the elect, the men that hold the word, and it explains that in Revelation too about that dragon coming for the woman that hold the testimony of hold the Most High's word.
The dragon, Wrath of the woman, the remnant of the woman.
Yes, the remnant of the woman. So what, like, apostles, elders go into the remnant, and where they're remnant, so they gonna come for us. Go ahead.
The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them.
Yeah, that's spiritual powers, man.
Or against him. It's like,
against him. That's spiritual powers. So that's the great part of the movie, when that woman start remembering who she is, and start fighting back, escaping, and you be like, man, this is the part of the movie. Like when you watch, when I used to watch Incredible Hulk, that's that old Incredible Hulk. Now you just want to see Incredible Hulk, you know what I'm saying? But back then he had to be David Banner first, and then some episodes he didn't even turn Incredible Hulk. I want to see Incredible Hulk. But you got to see David Banner, because you got to be explained.
You got to see the process.
You said what?
I said, bro, what are you up there? I said, yeah, I need a friend for we were on our way up here, and some dude brake checked us, and we got sideways at 8 miles an hour. I'm trying to figure out if my rear end walking a little funny, and I can't really see it. I'm also wondering if any else up there.
Is it? You could just see by just.
It's poked out a little, but it's not like too far out.
How come you can't see it?
Because, I got fucked up on this. If I'm being honest, I'm supposed to have glasses.
If it's just a quick look, somebody can look at it.
Just a quick one.
Yeah. Let's pull it up over here.
Well, anyway, you go check it out real quick. Water. But so there's some worked up, man.
Like, hey,
going back to the, going back to the scripts. You had something, I just read that, I said 59:19. Yeah, that was quick,
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Yeah, not big deal.
So, this woman is the bride is about to come back to the bridegroom about to come back to his bride. The woman is starting to fight through the word, counter the beast, counter the dragon, and that's the part, that's when the movie gets exciting. We're in exciting times, like we always say. That's when the movie, you don't want to go to the restaurant hardly, straight. You are like, damn, I might miss something. Hey, you might miss a chariot or something. Bro, say, yeah, the chariot. You're like, oh shit, you don't want to. So we in the movie now with the popcorn. The angels looking at us like, hey man, they Most High getting ready to do it, man. They getting start, raising them up with spiritual powers, and at least, they waiting for that too, because that's why they have the drones, cameras, scanners. They probing, investigating shit. They setting up the robot, the robots and shit, cyborgs and shit. Yeah, watching you in your homes and shit. This is a state of martial law already. It's more silent though, you know. Psychological, subliminal. It's gonna be manifest.
The beginning of sorrow, like how Shah said.
That's why we gotta have this knowledge.
These people so.
Go ahead.
This is simple. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High.
Because we're at war. Like I said, we're in spiritual war. But like it says, we're in spiritual war. And we're fighting like this, and there's nobody in front of us, but you know, it is really. And we're fighting demons. And we're fighting demons in our own mind. You know, so this is an all-out war, man. This is the war of the starting of the Armageddon. You know, it's going to be manifest outward. It said that was inwardly, it's going to become outwardly. That is hidden, it's going to be revealed. Go ahead.
That ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.
This is the evil day, bad times. You know, that's we're in those days, man. Go ahead.
And having done all,
go ahead.
To stand.
Dodging the fiery darts. You know, casting off doubts. Because they're gonna make it they're gonna tend to make you doubtful. You know? What do they say? People are dying and all that. Sickness, they say diseases are coming out every time. And then, you know, you're fighting for your life. You gotta eat healthier, but they poison the food too. So they be like, well, depend on us. No, what you gonna do? Don't depend on your Lord. He ain't gonna do nothing for you. They're mocking the Most High. But this is a movie that angels be like, what's she gonna say this time? As Israel, as the elect woman. You know? Because Adam, remember, he hearkened to his wife. And we're the example of the second Adam of Yahweh, you know, Yahweh Shai is the second Adam. We're listening to Yahweh Shai, following him. And he was Solomon. He know not to listen, you know. We know not to listen to these women. But these women are also these other nations' beliefs and stuff like that. Like it says, you know, they didn't defile themselves with women. So all these Westerners like, oh, you know, they in the wrong religion, or they go in the court and all that. We ain't listening to that shit. We ain't following. Then they be like, yeah, they didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Because the angels are subject to the Most High. All the angels, the evil angels, subject to the Most High too. They, you know, they under the Most High. They be like, can I go down there, Most High? You know, it ain't like they got to be all warped out, creepy and preachers and stuff. They follow the orders of the Most High. So they getting this is exciting, man. That part in the Matrix, Neo is starting to believe. You know, they're starting to. They didn't take the rat this time, so now they picking up from there. It's like now, Most High, we see that now. What's the outcome of this? And it's going to be the outcome where it's going to get real crazy, but it's going to get real. It's going to get beautiful. It's going to get, you know, it's going to get real evident that the Most High is in control. It's going to get evident that these things are true, evident and true. That's written in the scriptures. It's going to be evident that Most High did make this movie. That we're not stuck out here in Wonderland and Disneyland without a home and shit. Like that Dorothy, what's about Dorothy? How can I get home? I want to go home. Shit. She made friends and shit. She started looking around like this is weird ass shit. I'd rather be home with Uncle, like, you know, all my peace. Yeah. We'd rather be in the kingdom. With all, you know, the rest of the King Mashada, you know, High Priest Elder Yaikwab, you know, they died in Yahweh Shai. The Most High is going to make it manifest on Earth, so we can have an actual planet for us. We can actually have the planets for us, man. We can actually be righteous upon this land. You know, that's what we're waiting for, man. We don't have to be in the spirit world. Most High is going to make us keep the laws perfectly in extraterrestrial form, where our enemies can see us and behold us and fear us, and at the same time, we're perfect. They'd be like, I didn't know that could be possible. Yeah. What it say? Exercise in yourselves, you know, perfection, pretty much. So we're rehearsing the righteous acts. We're rehearsing the movies, the steps, the lines. Oh, this is my line, Lord. You know, like the Romeo and Juliet, and everybody liked that story. And Romeo said to Juliet, and Juliet said this back, and they waited on the balcony. She waited on the balcony for him. Oh, my love. And that's that. There's the Songs of Solomon. You know? Right in his spirit for the Most High. Most High is our husband. You know? You like the apostle said, you have a female prodigy, they call it prodigy or whatever, and you write a song for her, and she sing it. You want to sing it like the way you wrote it, you know. And then she'll try to put her input in there, like, no, I want you to sing it on that note. I want you to get high up on that note. And I want you to get the dance steps right, you know. And then so everybody, and then when she's done, everybody like, man, that was a beautiful performance. You can't knock that. Some performance you can't even knock. You know? I done heard some comments say, I don't even like this artist, but I can't deny that one that she did, that he did. That was spectacular. You know? That's how Israel's supposed to be. I don't even like Israel, but she did that right there. She came on top of that. She took, you know, it's almost like I get excited too when I see the track, the women in the track, how they be running fast like that. You're like, that's like Flash in a physical form, in our weakest form right now. You be like, they would get it. You imagine if a woman chased her enemy like that, he had no chance. Or the way they jumped in hurdles and they'll jump a fence. You be like, shit, they got superpowers, man. It's like watching a movie. And that's what the Most High is doing, speeding up us. We're getting more, you know, quick with, you know, learning and grasping what things really mean. And, stay away from that person. That's why I shouldn't do that. Getting up in the morning feeling good, you know, about the truth. Feeling good about the scriptures, about speaking the word. Because Most High is getting in your spirit.
Like you said, Zaquan, like things are getting more exciting. Like in the movies, it might start out like a lot of movies. They might start out dull. You know what I'm saying? But then as it goes up, it gets like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Because it's the dialogue first. They talking and stuff. And it's building the story. Then the action comes.
Oh, matter of fact, I got a precept. What's that? Second Esdras.
Let's start to close up.
Okay. Right here. Second Esdras chapter 9. Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 5. It says, "For like as all that is made in the world, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end."
Wait, hold on. The beginning. You know, like Superman, he has a beginning. They showed him when he was a child. Where he came from, he had superpower. He was strong when he was a child. He was a made by him. He came from a chariot or a planet Krypton. You want to know the background of it? You know, he worked at the Daily Planet as Clark Kent, and they asked him, you know, if they knew he was Clark Kent, they'd be like, "Why you work at the Daily Planet? You Superman." But he got to get cordial with the people and shit. He got to learn the people and shit. Because if he's just Superman, he's gonna be like, fuck all these people, man. I'm Superman, you know. But he got to learn how it is to work at the Daily Planet. Like, damn, I feel these people. I feel my people Israel, because we feel our people. We feel the pain of our people. We know they come from ghettos and slums and all that. But the part that we don't feel is they ain't getting right. They ain't trying to get right. You know, that's the problem. If the sinning is why you in the ghettos and slums, then it makes sense to get right. Because then you just a damn reprobate at that point. You know? You got to go back and backtrack and say, well, what got us into this? And then you do the very opposite. Go ahead.
For as like as all that is made in the world has a beginning.
So it has a beginning, and go ahead.
And an end.
And an end. So when it's the end, you know what I'm saying? You be like, man, that was a great movie. You get to go talk about it with your friends and stuff. The victory was, you saw the victory of the victim overcoming the enemy or whatever. The plowman overcoming the reaper.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It says, and the end is manifest.
And the end is manifest. You know? And the end is, you know, when the movie's over, the credits roll. The credits are rolling in this place.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, hey, the Esau's going down.
Yeah, we the credits, running the credits for you.
It's spiritually crediting down, but now it's gonna be manifest.
We're giving you all the actors, the main director, the executive director. We tell you everybody is.
They all come out at the end, right?
All come out at the end. Where everybody was. This shit go down, man.
And you know, like you said, you know, everybody got
everybody on the list.
Yeah, you know, he played the man that the man that he ran into him in the restaurant.
It's gonna say so-called white man is Esau. Go down. All that. It's all gonna play.
Moab, Chinese, you know,
Japanese.
Yeah.
It's gonna say thanks for all your support.
Russia, me.
Yep, kind.
And they, you know, they do that little. They had that little. They play the scene while they they pause it and
they're gonna go all the way to end. Thanks for all your support. You were to die. We salute you.
Authorized and written by the Most High by Hashem Yahweh Shai through Yahweh Shai and the angels.
It says, verse 6. It says, even so.
And then they hold on. Then they have two characters or three characters played by the same people.
Yep.
So they saying the saints, the Israelites. Jerusalem, the Israelite. You know what I'm saying? The men that was in garments, you think they different people? The Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Murphy, he played the
grandma
person.
Yeah.
You know, he played the barber dude. They are all Eddie Murphy, and some people didn't even know.
Yep.
When they say they was gonna be amazed by, is this who we had the derision? You the saints too? You got to be because we're gonna become famous before we get out of here too. So they're gonna be like, y'all those people that was famous on earth, and y'all get called up in the chariots. Most High will, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 6, it said, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings.
Yep.
And
plain beginnings. Go ahead.
Plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works.
Yeah.
And endings and effects and in signs.
See, so you got a process. You know, we was born as children. We had to go to high school, this dumbass high school. And I'm not really knocking the whole system because they get that from the Bible. Yahweh Shai said, you're coming up under a schoolmaster. You know, you got to be taught. You got to be teaching. You know, it said, how would they know unless the teacher been sent?
He set up both ordinances. He just made one of them tacky as hell on purpose.
A decoy.
And he actually made it thrive for a second. He made it thrive for a second where it worked out for their people, not for Jake.
But we got through it, and we can all. And when we come together, we can all relate because we like, oh yeah, I remember because all the schools, even from West Coast, East Coast, and South, they did similar stuff. They ate the same food, you know, had the same parks and recess and all that. So when we come together, like, man, I remember, and we kind of, it almost like we went to the same school. So we build dialogue and we get to know each other again as Israel, because they divided us. Even with the Latin tribes, us all Israel, Judah and Israel come back together, press being here. And we starting to understand, like, we Israel. We ain't missed the beat, man. Go ahead, we'll close out with this.
But yeah, that's pretty much
okay.
But it's amazing how, like it said right here, in the times of the highest, it shall be plain beginnings, and then work your way. Because right now, it seemed like it reminded me of that movie, The Last Dragon. Remember, man, you was speaking out on that movie the other day, like how the movie in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end he get that glow.
If you didn't hear about the movie, who knew he would get that glow?
Right, exactly.
You would have to watch it to the end of the movie because he didn't get it to the end of the movie.
That's right.
He was getting beat up. Right. Well, not so much beat up, but he was, dealing with that showing up dude.
Yeah.
and he was being bothered and troubled.
He was red. He had the red, which represents Esau.
But if you walked out in the movie and be like, this dude, you know what I'm saying? Because he acted nerdy a little bit.
Right.
He had a beautiful woman, Vanity.
Oh yeah.
Jake probably be like, why don't he just get her? Like, knock that out, Jake. Yeah. But he had it nerdy because he was focused on his, his what do you call it? What's his name in the movie, that Karate Kid movie?
Danielson.
Yeah, but the wax up Shabi or something like that.
Mr. Miyagi.
He was on this Mr. Miyagi shit. He was learning. Yeah. So he didn't want to get distracted. You know what I'm saying? If you be like, you didn't say, you know, you got superpowers, right? Nah, hold on, man. Well, you right, because I didn't stay. Yeah, you didn't stay. So that's what they're trying to do. Jake don't want to, go through the natural process of the movie. We see the movie for what it is, because Most High got spiritual eyes to see. Esau trying to speed up the movie and trying to get to the point where he don't go into slavery. He trying to make his own movie and shit with AI.
We make a whole damn movie.
Yeah, because you go to the book, you be like, don't it say you won't? Yeah, ooh. Don't it say that you're gonna go into slavery right here?
What's that? Zawan, what it said? Psalm 10th chapter. We said, I should not be moved.
What, Esau saying that?
Esau, I should not be moved, for I shall not be in adversity. Also Psalm 2nd chapter, he said, let's take the bands and remove their bands. Roughly paraphrasing, their bands and their bands and their cords away from us. But when you go into the NLT, saying let us remove those chains away from us, so that we won't be in slavery, being the slavery of the Most High, of God.
Basically saying remove the law.
Right.
They're like, let's get rid of the law. So that's what they're trying to do. Trying to get rid of the law.
Trying to make their own. That's why they got they place these AI movies with. And they they don't even go by the Bible anymore. They just putting all kind of other shit that's happening. So they trying to make their own movie, make their own paradise, their own kingdom, through this new world order through AI, and trying to be the author of it, of their own paradise with Jakes as slaves in it and these other nations under them, just like it is under Israel. What's how going to interrupt? Disappoint them, man.
We're gonna stop their duckhead asses. Yeah, it's gonna be over with. We're gonna tear this whole place limb from limb.
So that we got angels encamped around us, and they waiting for our greatness, man. They waiting for our greatness. So it's gonna be something, a sight to see. It's already a sight to see through the scriptures, through what Most High is teaching us, showing us things. But even some more, it's gonna be manifest. The ultimate greatness of this, our salvation, gaining of our kingdom again. Our enemies going down. It's going to be the greatest movie ever known and written among men and above men that's ever been. So yeah, really excited, man. Just picture yourself as an actor, you fulfilling your role. Like, okay, this is my line. And you do what the Most High tells you to do in the scriptures. That's how you keep the order. Right, with that, anybody else? So hopefully it was edifying, man. Try to have a little fun with movies and analogies and similitudes. So once again, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh. Rockadaw, Shadow Bonus to Apostle Bishop Levels, Great Millstone, Mashal Texture, Brothers, Team Work, Elect, soon to be elect. The water for the brother, sister on the coming board, tuning in, it's greatly appreciated, because we're watching, you're watching us like a movie right now. So, we're in a small frame box, but it means a lot because pretty soon it's going to be manifest all over the place. So with that, shalom.
Shalom.